Every night, 5,300 convicted felons sleep within the walls of Angola prison. For most, it's the only opportunity to escape a life sentence in America's largest maximum security prison.
Lights out! Lights out!
Waking up to the same reality day after day,
Get on your phone.
some men find distractions from the mental anguish of prison life.
Here, call lady nurse.
Others rebel and do their time the hard way.
Get on your bed.
And some have only one thing on their mind: busting out.
I escaped from the parish 2 times, so I'm considered a flight risk.
Securing 18,000 acres of prison property is no easy task.
You gotta be ready for any and everything.
Warden Burl Kane doesn't take the job lightly.
3 levels of security in the prison. One is the cells and the bars. The next one is the fence. Next level of security to catch you or to bring you back is the dogs. Let's go in there and look around. Come on, kid.
They run 12 hours a night. They're aggressive dogs. Wolf. Wolf.
So the dogs are absolutely critical to the well-being of this prison. They're the other line of security. And you get between the fence, you got to cross too. You have to go by that dog, or he'll eat you up.
Somebody tries to climb out, they get to fight with the dogs until we get back around there to them. You never want to see somebody get out. There's a reason that they're in here, so that when you run off, we're coming to get you.
In the rare case that an inmate gets past the prison gates, Warden Kane keeps another stock of dogs, trained specifically to bring him back.
Bloodhounds are critical to the prison. The last escape got out on Sunday afternoon, and he was out with 16 minutes. So that's great.
The warden heads over to the prison's Canine Training Center. Known as the Dog Pen, it sits on a hill near the eastern edge of Angola's grounds. A small group of the prison's most trusted inmates live and work in this elite facility. They've earned more privileges than their fellow convicts and are essential to keeping Angola safe.
The ultimate is to live at the dog pen. It's the only air-conditioned dormitory we have. The guard is not there other than every 45 minutes, an hour he drives by, and you all supervise yourselves.
Good dog. Yeah, you're good. Come on.
You can walk out at night and look at the sky. You know, what prisoner can ever do that? And here you are at the dog pen, the ultimate.
Hey, big boy. Hey. Come on. Come on, Hank.
How y'all doing? Hello, Bob. Good to see y'all.
You might think this kind of freedom would tempt inmates to make a break for it.
You sure you're gonna finish?
Oh, yes, sir.
You got it, boy.
But in fact, it's a successful deterrent.
There, Warden Kane.
You're doing good?
Oh, yes, sir.
Aaron Hauser has lived at the dog pen for more than 10 years. He's responsible for raising the bloodhounds.
The puppies are doing great. They're just like normal little bloodhound puppies. They're just like mischievous little monsters.
Okay, we're gonna see you.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Aaron, who's serving life without parole on a double murder, is better known around here as Teddy.
I've got that nickname maybe a year after I came to prison. So we had to go to work wearing big white jumpsuits. And somebody made a little comment about, oh, you look like a big teddy bear standing there. And it stuck. I was arrested when I was 17, so I've been here all my adult life. This really is all I really know anymore. I have 2 counts of first-degree murder. I shot 2 step relatives.
was a little kid, I just wanted my mother to be proud of me, just like any little boy would do. But it just didn't work out like that.
Come here, little rascal. Put down that fussing. You have to make the best of a bad situation. Unconditional love. The dogs give me a sense of accomplishment, being able to belong. Your dogs are just like your family. Some of them may be even better.
Warden Kane believes that inmates who earn special privileges become less of a threat to prison security.
Okay, little one.
Teddy is a prime example. He likes his position on the canine unit too much to attempt escape.
Like being here at the Canine Training Center, it definitely is a big privilege. You could say it's an honor.
Most of us are wanting to make a good name for ourselves, even if it's just in prison.
These may be the most trusted inmates at Angola, but if they fall from grace, they fall the farthest.
One mistake, and that's all it takes. One moment of indiscretion, and you're right back where you came from. You've lost all that you've worked for over the years.
One slip up, and they're immediately sent to the most dreaded place in all of Angola, the punishment unit. In fact, it's just down the road from the dog pen.
Ooh, it's hot down here.
An escape-proof fortress called Camp J.
All steel and cement is designed to torture suckers. Oh man, it's like being in the hellhole, man.
Pull it up.
Assistant Warden Chad Menzina has the privilege of overseeing this motley crew.
Close 13.
Come on.
If any other institution has an inmate that is just a big disciplinary problem, gets involved in any kind of altercations with personnel or aggravated fights or something serious like that, they'll send them to Angola, and usually they'll end up right here.
Jesse Langston has been in Angola for 3 years.
He's gonna walk out with me, right?
He has one of the least desirable inmate jobs. As a tier walker here in the prison's disciplinary unit.
The tier walkers, all they're looking for is inmates trying to harm themselves. All day, back and forth, they'll make their rounds.
Making sure ain't nobody hanging from the bars. I ain't seen it before. I don't want to see it.
Unlike 90% of the prison population, Jesse may one day walk out of Angola's front gates.
I got 35 years. Yeah, 35. Attempted second-degree murder. So a lot of the people up here, my outdate sounds real good to them, but to me it don't. I'm young. When I get out, I'm gonna be 60-something, you know? I ain't but 27. Now that's a long ways away. It's boring, you know, logging down in here all day. It don't really require no skill, but you know, I work on electronics. That's what I did on the streets. I repair things. It's my passion. I miss it. Definitely miss it. Well, the ideal job would be, you know, repairing the circuits and things like that around the camp, the maintenance. But you have to be a Class A trustee to do that. So that's what I'm trying to do.
For Jesse, getting trustee status would make his next 30 years at Angola more tolerable. But he'll have to earn it.
Things to keep in mind with the inmate like Jesse. Some of these guys are con artists. I mean, they will look at you in the face, and they're the best inmates around, and they'll do everything you tell them to do, and they'll work their way up just for the sole reason, you know, to escape. He's got to earn our trust.
One man who's already earned the staff's trust is Oliver Howard. As a trustee, he's one of Angola's elite inmates, but he still has to prove he's worthy of the one privilege he desperately wants: to marry the woman he loves.
My lovely fiancée, I met her 4 years ago at the October rodeo. It was my idea to propose to her. It made me a better person. It helps me to stay focused, keep my mind on something positive.
It's not very often that Warden Kane approves a wedding, and Oliver anxiously awaits his decision.
You know, he's a busy man, and I just remind him every time I see him, and we pray and fast about
Coming up,
You ever try to escape?
Angola's canine team goes on a manhunt.
I can't hardly hold it back.
Pat, how are you today?
As warden of America's largest maximum security prison, Earl Kane's got one thing on his mind 24 hours a day: escape.
When I walk around through the prison, I look for ways to escape. If I were here, I want to get out. How am I going to get out? Everything's peaceful over here?
Yes, sir.
Thank you all. Just anticipating all those things that can happen and then being able to prevent it.
The warden uses an arsenal of preventative techniques, from vicious attack dogs to incentives for good behavior.
How's the television station?
It's growing and growing.
All right, keep it going. People say, who cared if they're good? Lock them up, throw away the key. Well, I got to live with them and keep them from hurting our correctional officers and from escaping. How you doing?
All right, how you doing, Warren?
Good.
Warden Kane's got something else working for him, too. The prison's location.
Angola surrounded about 14 miles of the Mississippi River. And then on the other side is a real rugged Tunica Hills.
An escapee would have to hike miles through unforgiving terrain, or swim across a raging river and risk coming face to face with one of these guys.
The alligators are wonderful guards. And the alligators are always a deterrent. Don't swim in the water.
Although they're a great addition to Angola's security team, the gator population can become a nuisance. Lately, they've been invading a lake that borders staff housing on prison grounds.
See what we got?
Captain Robert Ticer, a supervisor on the K-9 unit, is the man the warden calls on to take care of the problem.
We're trying to remove the alligators out of the recreation area where families go to fish and play, so to keep the kids safe.
Got some pretty nice alligators swimming around.
As far as Ticer's concerned, hunting gators is not too far off from tracking an escaped inmate.
Alligator hunting, you don't ever know what you're going to have when you pull the line up. You don't know how big he's going to be. Chasing a man the same way, you don't know if he's going to be around the next corner or if he's armed, if he's not. I guess it all gets back to the same thing. It's ultimately an adrenaline rush. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a gator on this line. So I ain't real happy this morning.
I wouldn't be neither.
Just across the lake at Camp J, Jesse Langston is trying to get promoted out of his job as tier walker on the prison's disciplinary unit.
Try and get the power on here.
For that to happen, he has to earn the staff's trust, and he's making some progress. Assistant Warden Chad Menzina granted him the privilege to practice his hobby in his downtime.
What you working on?
CD player. Just fixing it, you know. The guy said his button wasn't working. People call me Radio Shack, electronic, electro. Power's not lining up. I don't charge people for fixing their electronics. It's something that I enjoy doing.
Did you do this before you come in here?
No, actually, I worked on computers before I come in here.
Did you go to school for that, or you just kind of learned on your own?
My grandfather taught me growing up. He was a radar specialist in the military. Ever since I was a little kid, he had a ham radio and taught me how to repair it and all that stuff. So, but since I've been up here, I haven't touched the keyboard. I do miss it. Trying to get them to recognize my skills so I can move up. Put it all back together the other way.
What Jesse really wants is to land a job as a trustee electrician at Angola.
Jesse is very, very good at electronics, but being security-minded, you also got to think about what harm could this guy do you if he had bad intentions with the electronic skills and knowledge that he has. Most of our prison runs on electronics. We have electronic gates, electronic cell. Just imagine if this guy got a hold of a computer, what he could do. He could figure out a way to open these e-building doors and escape. So, I mean, that's the thing, as much as you want to trust him, and he's got a perfect conduct record, you've always got to keep that in the back of your mind.
Coming up, a guard catches Jesse with something suspicious.
What is this?
And later, Teddy buries a friend.
It's hard. They're just like one of your family.
At Louisiana State Penitentiary, safety is the staff's biggest concern.
Fire 1 and cover. Fire 2.
Tight security is essential. But Warden Kane believes that to keep his prison safe, it's equally important to keep inmates occupied.
Busy. I'm busy. I don't have idle time. Idle time's the devil's workshop.
In addition to their work detail,
Oak 1.
Warden Kane offers inmates a variety of programs to fill up their time.
Hash 2.
When he isn't working his job as a prison minister, Oliver Howard passes the hours in the hobby shop, making alligator skin purses.
This is my baby right here. First machine I got. I love it. It's creativity and keeps my mind occupied. I see myself as a designer. My specialty is making satchels, totes, hobo bags. I never thought I would be doing this type of work, ever. Ever since the age of 14, I was drinking alcohol, and that's what I believe led me to this incarceration. Just that night, we were drinking like crazy.
Late one muggy August night, Oliver and his friend asked a guy for a ride home from a bar.
Got us a ride home, and he tells this guy this is a robbery. One thing led to another, and I wound up here. Doesn't take but one time, you know, to get in trouble real good, you know.
When Oliver was sentenced to 50 years in prison, it was the reality check of a lifetime. Now, 14 years later, he's turned his life around.
Made a choice to be a man and not a predator. I'm making a zip clutch. I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but I usually do it pretty fast. You could make a bad choice. You could make a good choice. It's up to you which one you want. And I chose that good way.
The biggest change in Oliver's life came 4 years ago, when he met the woman who became his fiancée at the Angola prison rodeo.
I met her more than 4 years ago. We didn't really kick it off at first. It was just friends for about a year. She was always wanting a man of God for a husband. It was my idea to propose to her at the 2010 April.
Count time.
Oliver submitted a request with Warden Kane to be married at Angola. Now, he and his fiancée patiently await his approval.
Still walk. That's your release.
Down the road at Camp J, Jesse Langston is making progress towards moving up and out of his job as a tier walker.
So far, so good. He's determined, and he's got a mindset where he's going to work his way up. No matter what he has to do, I have no doubt in my mind about that.
Assistant Warden Chad Menzina is considering promoting Jesse to a job working maintenance, where he can utilize his background in electronics.
He can pretty much do anything he wants with electronics. And he's got a perfect conduct record. I may put him on maintenance.
Jesse's prospects are looking good. But at the routine end-of-day strip search,
What is this?
a guard discovers that he's carrying something suspicious.
What is this?
Storeless, very storeless. When I'm back here, you know, I'm back here from 7 to 4, so that's all it is.
Bill Walker, that's your release. I'll pat you down.
Jesse Langston has just finished his shift as a tier walker on an extended lockdown unit at Camp J.
What is this?
During a routine shakedown, an officer finds what he suspects could be contraband.
What is this?
Storeless, very storeless. You know, I'm back here from 7 to 4, so I can't.
Why you got so many jacks of diamond, 5 of hearts, and all that? What they got to do with stuff?
Cards, playing cards, writing it down. Card sequences, mathematics, you know. That's all it is.
All right. So it ain't gonna hurt for you to lose that?
Nah.
Okay. I don't know what it was, but, you know, if it was anything, you know, he wasn't gonna take it out of here. Because I don't know why a person would sit there and write down jack of diamond, jack of heart, and all this stuff on there. It could be codes, so I wasn't gonna let him take no notes back to his camp with him.
Officer Scales is concerned that Jesse's scrawlings are coded communications between inmates. Whether Jesse is guilty or not, the mere suspicion could cost him the promotion he's been seeking.
At least he had to start all back over if it was something he was trying to do.
Over at the dog pen, Teddy Hauser helps to prepare the prison's bloodhounds for a manhunt.
He gets excited, his tail starts making big circles like that. It's kind of cute.
He and the other inmates on the K-9 unit live near the dog pens, so they can assist if a fellow inmate breaks out.
There's a lot of people who may look down on me, maybe a lot of other inmates that feel like you are assisting in the training of the dogs that are used to track inmates who have escaped or who have committed crimes.
As part of their training, young bloodhounds are sent on fake manhunts, using real inmates as bait.
We'll take them through the woods, we'll take them across fields, we'll go places where cows have been, we'll go across the blacktops, roads. In other words, we'll try to intentionally confuse them as much as possible.
K-9 supervisors Captain Robert Tyser and Lieutenant Colonel Johnny Dixon supervise the manhunt.
As long as you have an inmate locked up in prison, you have the potential for escape, you know, so you really want to have these dogs ready to go at a moment's notice.
Teddy has the night off, but 2 other inmates from the K-9 unit will be set free in the woods and hunted.
That's a good long john.
It's a test of both the bloodhound skill and the inmate's loyalty.
Okay. Get in the woods, go about 300 or 400 yards.
Yes, sir.
When you get to the riverbank, come up about 50 yards along the edge of the riverbank and come around to about the end of the road right there.
Yes, sir. Go on, yeah. Go that way. No, yeah.
Watch your step. We're going up right here. Got a little drop off. Need a hand? Look at that light over there.
Huh? That's the fairyland.
There it is, the mighty Mississippi. Want to touch that Mississippi?
Yeah.
Are you a good swimmer?
A good swimmer.
Swim like a fish. Let's go.
After giving the inmates a 20-minute head start,
Come on, buddy.
it's now time for this novice bloodhound to prove himself.
Golly, Long John.
What are you doing? Man, what are you doing? Come on. I told you you was crazy.
He's on it right there.
When you run off,
All right. Hurry up, man. Hurry up.
we're coming to get you.
In the dead of night, two trusted inmates blaze a trail through the woods bordering Angola prison.
Let's go. What are you doing? Watch your step.
K-9 supervisors Captain Robert Tyser and Lieutenant Colonel Johnny Dixon
All right. He's on it right there.
are hot on their tail.
Good boy.
What a man.
Everything comes alive at night. I can't hardly hold him back in here. Wild hogs, deer, coons, armadillos, possums, you name it. Hurry up, buddy. Gonna see if he's gonna stay on the human scent. Man, he went up a mountain, huh? Want some water, man?
But as they reach the water's edge, the novice bloodhound comes up short.
Come on, buddy. He ran out of odor, he shut down.
Work it out. Work it out.
Hurry him up. See any tracks here? See nothing here.
If this were a real escape and not a drill, the K-9 team would be losing precious time.
Here he goes. Here he goes. Here he goes.
All right, there they are.
What a man.
Good boy.
Before long, the hound's back on track.
He's on it right there. Yeah, they climbed over that log right there.
Yeah.
He didn't smell it down there, so he knew to come up back up in the woods where he last smelled it. Now he's back on the trail again. He's about to kill me.
What that, man? Hey, get a man.
Good boy. There they are. You find him, Long John? Good boy.
Good man.
You're a good boy. It's a real good feeling knowing you have a dog like that.
The dog passed the test,
Yeah. Get your start. Get your start.
All right.
and so did the inmates.
Looks different at night. Looks like a city.
Though freedom was so close they could touch it, these convicts didn't test their luck.
K-9 training facility. Home sweet home. Why wouldn't you think of swimming the Mississippi? Because you know, for one thing, they treat you well, and if you violate your trust, you know where you're gonna pay.
At Camp J, Jesse Langston is making slow progress towards working his way up from his job as tier walker.
But you're orderly now. I serve the juice. Looks like lemonade today. Gotta keep moving, you know? Just real fast pace. It's better, I think.
What's up, bro?
Recently, a guard discovered Jesse carrying what he suspected was contraband.
Put this up here, huh?
While no one could prove he did anything wrong, Assistant Warden Chad Menzina isn't ready to give Jesse the job he wants in maintenance.
We moved him to the kitchen, and we're going to work him in there.
Where you get that you got yourself from?
I don't know. I kind of want to watch him a little more and make sure that he can do all that, and he doesn't have a problem with us telling him what to do.
No juice, no juice, juice.
And from there, I may put him on maintenance, but he's got to earn our trust.
For Jesse, the thought of extending his time in Camp J is defeating.
I have to go back and get some more. I'm not content trying to get out of here. I guess the only thing I can do is stay positive, you know? Still got a spoon on it right there. Negativity only sends you backwards. Uh-oh. Slow motion.
Staying positive is Jesse's only choice if he wants to improve his life behind bars.
What the
K-9 unit, Teddy keeps his morale up by spending time with the dogs he raises.
Get back in there with your brothers and sisters, huh? I guess the biggest thing with taking care of the animals is you just love them. You take care of them just like they were your own, which in a way they are my own. The little dog doesn't matter what color I am, how old I am, how much money I have. I'm short, tall, skinny, fat, none of that. The little animal will take you just as you are. Okay, little one.
Teddy has spent his entire adult life behind bars, so he hasn't had much opportunity to connect with other people.
Oh, that's our mail people right there. That's the lady bringing the mail. I got one letter, got 2 letters, and that's it. You really look forward to mail call, getting something, even if it's just a little postcard or just some kind of little something that you can hold in your hand and say, this was from whoever it is, your loved ones, you know, your girlfriend or wife. You can say, man, I got this. They actually touched it, they held it in their hands.
Recently, Teddy's found a new connection to the outside world.
My girlfriend, she lives out in California, so that's what I've been waiting on. We haven't actually met yet. We got known to each other from a pen pal site on the internet. Oh, she's an animal lover, like I am. She's real smart. Of course, she's very pretty. And she loves, that's the important thing. I don't like the feeling that my happiness relies solely on you. If you don't write or call, I feel sick inside and I get completely depressed. It's something I need to learn to deal with. It's so darn maddening, that's all. Because I was a juvenile when I was arrested, I wasn't old enough when I came to prison to have really established my own family ties, wife, kids, all those type of things that normal people develop. So just having somebody like that on the outside, somebody who really loves you just for who you are, makes a big difference in prison. It makes you feel just like you're a human, like you're a real person, like there's somebody out there that really cares for you.
Teddy's relationship with his girlfriend may always exist from afar. But inmate Oliver Howard hopes to marry the woman he loves, right here at Angola.
Kind of jittery a little bit.
Today, he'll find out if the warden has approved his request for a wedding.
May I have your ID, please?
I understand Warden King. Drop the paperwork off. Thank you. To get married Friday.
After months of waiting, Oliver has the warden's blessing.
Get married, bro. Yeah, bro. I'm good, bro. What's up with you, bro? What you doing, bro? Married? What? We're getting married. I was waiting and anticipating on it. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks to what came for allowing this to go down. Thank the Lord for what came, most of all. I felt kind of calm up to this point. I'm ready. Ready to do it.
Coming up,
Still a little jittery, but not nervous.
a relationship begins
That's right. I get it.
as another one ends.
You're here with when they're born and you bury them when they die.
In a prison where few men will ever leave, inmates have little to look forward to.
You ready, huh? Yeah, right.
But Oliver Howard has been anticipating this day his entire life.
We're getting married. Still a little jittery, but not nervous. I guess jittery is nervous, I don't know, but we're ready to go. This is my first marriage. The adrenaline starts to pump as you get closer, you know.
For his fiancée, Leona Johnson, the road to the altar is different than it is for most brides.
Today I'm here to be married. I'm very excited. I'm happy. Big day of my life.
are gathered here together in the sight of God to join together this man and this woman in holy matrimony.
I was always waiting for this moment for the right one to come into my life, and I'm thankful for you and waiting patiently to spend the rest of my life with you.
I thank God the day that we met. I love you very much.
This ring, I give thee.
I give thee.
You may now kiss your bride. I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Oliver Howard.
As Oliver welcomes a new family member into his life, at the dog pen, Teddy says goodbye to a close companion.
I feel they've got to know when another dog has died. They have some kind of a little sense, have some idea of what it is. Can you make it a little wider? She's kind of a big dog. If you can just go out maybe about another foot. You're here with when they're born, and you bury them when they die. A lot of them have slept in the bed with us over the years. Her name was Chloe, and she had a twisted intestine. The vet felt it was better to go ahead and put her to sleep. It's hard. They're just like one of your family. You fed it, bathed it, loved it. It's really tough. But that's all part of life and death.
For Teddy, Chloe's death is a sobering reminder. Though he's living as well as an inmate can within Angola's gates, he's still alone in an isolated world.
You're definitely a forgotten man here. I'm condemned to the rest of my life. There's no parole in Louisiana. You have no opportunity to ever regain your freedom. You're just here till the day you die. That's it. No matter what you do to improve yourself, no matter how good your conduct record is, you're still just an inmate. And in Louisiana, life means life.
At the main prison visiting shed, Oliver and Leona's makeshift wedding reception comes to an end. Oliver has been granted one of the greatest privileges an inmate can earn.
And I'm a married man. That's a blessing. It's something that I can cherish for the rest of my life, that's for sure.
Oliver and Leona may be married, but they'll have to live apart for the next 3 decades. Warden Kane is used to seeing weddings end this way.
Yeah, my baby's sweet.
But he maintains a hopeful outlook.
There's some real positives for her. One thing about it is her husband's not going to run around on her. So that's good.
Love you, my husband. Love you, my wife.
And he's going to love her. There'll be no other.
Love my baby.
And love is a real good catalyst for peace and harmony and being able to do this time.
Right, baby.
Certainly it's frustrating. Certainly they can't consummate the marriage. We don't have conjugal visits, but this gives him hope, gives her hope. The lack of hope and despair is my enemy in this prison. I have to fight despair and keep the morale high. It's a happy day for Angola.